Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, once again it is time for me to do my wound care. I have an infection, it was cut open, and the doctor said I have to change the dressing periodically. And this is a wet to dry dressing. Now, I may have talked about this before, but while I am doing this, I will be discussing the concept of relying on fans for funds. I am a YouTuber, of course, hence I am making this video. And one thing I have is, of course, a Amazon wish list, which many of my fans are so good as to buy things from. Now, this wound needs to be soaked for 10 minutes. Okay? So that's why I am taking the time to make a video, because otherwise I would be sitting in here doing nothing. And the 10 minutes would go by a lot slower. And if you're wondering, what I'm doing is I'm putting the thumb in first to try and moderate the amount of spill. Because getting stuff all over my table is not fun. Alright. So I'm a diabetic. I'm going to take my blood sugar now. Ooh. Left the last lancet in there. That's not good. Lancet, I believe, I haven't looked it up, but I believe it means little piercer. Because like a knight has a lance, and that's designed to pierce armor. The lancet is small and designed to pierce skin. You have to be really careful when you put these things in, because you can bend the needle, because it's just this tiny little needle. And every time you use a needle, particularly a small one, you degrade it. So there's always the possibility of leaving a small shard of metal in your finger, which could cause infection. So, move that out of the way, move that out of the way. Doing this one-handed is not easy. I don't know if you guys... I have made more than 9 of these videos. I haven't posted one yet, so they should be posted before you see this, obviously, but I have no idea if this is something people want to see. And that didn't help. Oh! Forgot something important, didn't I? The 10-minute timer. Okay. That failed miserably. And the thing is timed out now. And that land set doesn't belong in there, so I'm going to get that out. Ooh. So yeah, Atomic Snack Bar is a YouTuber I follow. I do believe he's also subscribed to me, but I'm not dead sure. And he watches a few of my videos. I watch almost everything of his. But he had a computer problem. Where did I put the... There it is. He had a computer problem, and he turned to his fans to fix it. And they apparently went out there and did whatever fans do, paid for the unit or whatever have you. And, I mean, yeah, you know, if you have enough fans, you can do that. What the hell? I guess it's the test strip that's bad. This is a Nova Max, and they're the most economical from what I understand, but they're not necessarily the best. This is what the doctor gave me, by the way. There we go. $186, not good. Oh well. Anyway, so as I say, this guy relied on his fans to buy him a new computer so he could render videos again, which was cool of his fans. But, I mean, I also am familiar with, although I don't know him, a YouTuber who relies on his fans basically giving him money, and what he does with the money is make crappy movies. And the crappy movies then, well, they don't make money in and of themselves. He just pays himself for making the movie. Truth is, you can't keep doing that. Eventually you run out of fans, or they get tired of your movies. Then there's the other factor of, you know, your fans are people who work hard for their money. And I would always hate to take money from somebody who really can't afford to give it to me. It's one of those things. damn hot in here. Sweating. Yeah, insulin, which is what I'm injecting here, needs to be injected into fat, which I have an ample supply of. And then it has to be held against the skin for 10 seconds to ensure absorption. And you're not always supposed to inject yourself in the same place. There we are. So as I was saying, relying on fans is great. If you have a lot of them, you know, it's one of their ways of saying, yeah, you know, I love your content so much, I want to support it. And yeah, that's great. But one of the things I recently told a fan is I don't want their money. I want money from the advertisers. Because for one thing, like, people can tip me on YouTube, which is a thing, you know. But YouTube takes their cut. I mean, I don't just get that money. So, I mean, like, right now, I have equipment that needs to be replaced. And I could ask my friend, my subscribers. There's one guy who's a multimillionaire. He's got the money, you know. I mean, but I don't need the equipment that badly. And if I run around asking him for stuff all the time, eventually, you know, you take someone for granted. And I don't want to do that. I want to appreciate everything he does because he deserves it. He doesn't have to give me anything. I don't deserve my fans giving me money. That's not what I deserve. If I really want my fans to give me money, I would be making merch. You know, I would be doing that. But I'm not doing that because I don't really, you know, it's like I'm trying to make money off advertising, and YouTube will probably never make me a millionaire, will never be my primary source of income. But the thing about that is, you know, I didn't make this YouTube channel to take money from people. I made this YouTube channel to make money. And it's like, yeah, you're making money. Well, you're getting money, I guess. More of what you're doing than making it. But it's just one of those things that, you know, I actually had a fan once buy me thousands of dollars worth of things because he wanted to have sex with me. He thought if he bought me enough, I'd have sex with him. I'm not gay, so no. And I mean, he wasn't an unattractive man. But I'm just not into dudes. And he was totally like, no, dude, I'll just blow you. Like, anything you want, I'll do. But then, you know, it's like, one, how do you trust that? And two, no. You know, there needs to be a point where you say stop. And the more times you say yes, the harder it is to say no. I mean, in reality, most of us, well, we've got a little bit of a whore in us. What does that mean? We'll all do some bad things for money. You put enough money on the table, I'm sure I could find a nun to flash me. You know, what the nun does with that money afterwards might be, feed the poor. But, the point is not what the money's for. It's what you did for the money is what makes you the whore. A whore can go out there and sell her body and then use that money to feed the homeless or whatever have you, just as much as I could go out there, work a shift at my work, and use that money to feed the homeless. Okay? What you do to get the money is what makes you who you are. So we all have somewhere within us the capacity to do unsavory things for money. But when you go around asking for it and people go around giving it to you, they start thinking they're entitled. And not everyone's like that. But if you're going to rely on fans for money, you should only do it when you really need it. That's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. I'm Richard.
Background courtesy of Photographs of a Mad Richard. Link in the description.
Who should be commenting, liking, and subscribing? You should be commenting, liking, and subscribing. Danger Ducky says, if not you, then who?